nipples, you can use Clippy.
Hey,
Double click on
you
Clippy.
got
and
taught
you'll
by Dana Carvey in the turtle suit.
yeah. If you need help.
What in the hell are you guys talking about?
Is this Excel spreadsheet not
we
turtle
gotta
enough?
insert a clip for Linda right here. We gotta insert one.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Treknopod. That's right. We are Treknopod. My name is Captain Shoff. I am 1/3 of the bridge crew here at the USS Treknopod. And every week we have been joining forces to talk about Enterprise. We're doing a rewatch of season 1 of Enterprise. And we are currently on episode 9, which is Civilization, or Civilization to the layman, who's not Captain John Luck Pickard. So with that in mind, I want to introduce my co-hosts with the mostest, starting off with the lovely lady to my left. I don't know, she's probably above or below me on how things look on TikTok or YouTube. But anyways, Captain Linda Pages, how are you today?
Great. How are you?
Doing good. Doing real good. Thank you very much. Yes. And Captain Vactor, how are you, sir?
I'm doing excellent because I'm here with my favorite crew. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, this is like the highlight of my week.
Heck
really
yeah.
is. Heck yeah.
I greatly look forward to when we get a chance to chat. It's like unfortunate it has to be a podcast sometimes because it's just a fun like hangout is really what it's like. You know, it's like it's an excuse to get everybody together. But if anything, it's creating that parameter of we meet weekly so that we can geek out together and have a lot of fun and just continue through Enterprise, which this was an interesting episode, and I'm excited to hear what you guys thought about it. So let's kind of get right into it with Civilization. I have some notes, not as many as I usually do, but I did watch the episode twice like I typically do. So I am pretty well prepared. And there's some interesting trivia related to this episode that I'll share in a little bit as well. So, but first things first, I want to hear what you guys thought overall. We'll start with Vactor. What do you think?
Yeah, this was a very fun episode for me because I love seeing Archer get his riz on. I love seeing him put his Mac down on this girl. I loved it. That was my favorite part of this episode. Whoop, sorry, there's a guy over there. I love
He was rizzing it up.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I really enjoyed
serious
this
charm
episode.
coming from that fella.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He quantum leaped at the opportunity to
yes.
I gotta watch that show.
So
he was
good.
Talking about it in the Captain's documentary I watched the other day too. I really gotta.
Yeah, I grew up with Scott Bakula. Man, that guy is choice.
That was one of
awesome.
my first shows that my dad showed me, like when we watched it together. So that show always has that was before like I understood seasons. So it was just like random episodes. So I didn't know what was going on. But it still brings back memories for me when I see his face. I like that.
Yeah, he was super charming. I thought his opposite, his romantic opposite in this episode, she was first of all a great actress.
Yeah, she was.
And I thought she played it so like authentically and very naturally. It was almost to the point of like, is she even acting right now? Like she's just like there. She is
girl's got a crush.
Yeah, she is plugged in and she's like ready and willing. And clearly Scott Bakula was like a crush of hers growing up, no doubt. She was like, finally, the opportunity.
Yeah, they were definitely into it. It was cool. I liked this episode a lot. You know, I love a good mystery episode, which we've gotten a lot of in Enterprise.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's been fun. Visually, this episode reminded me a lot of what's the Voyager episode where the guy thinks that Janeway is his daughter and B'Elanna and Tuvok are kidnapped, and then it just like visually reminded me a lot of that. Like,
yes,
the planet and everything. I was like, I wonder if they reuse some sets or costumes or things because that's what it.
Shoff,
that's true. Very Renaissance, sort of like costume apparel and things like that. Yeah, totally.
Shoff, I don't know if this is in your notes, but there is a Voyager connection to this episode. I was digging into the behind the scenes on this episode. There's a lot of interesting stuff on this. I don't know if you saw that.
Is it like an obvious one that I missed, or is it like a behind the scenes thing?
Is it a character that or an actor that's been on Voyager as well? Is that your?
That's one of them. Yes, that's one.
That's the one I'm aware of.
Okay. Yes.
Who is the actor?
Tell her, Shoff.
Wade Williams, who plays Garros. He was previously on Voyager in the episode 1 as a Tragis Loteric. I probably totally butchered that, but yeah.
Okay. I'm not too disappointed with myself for not making that connection. I feel like that's like a niche.
What was the other one, Vactor?
I'm trying to pull it up. I had it in my notes here and then I lost it. It was a Voyager specific episode that was referenced in this one. You know what? Actually, maybe it was Shoff. Maybe it was the guest star. And I'm thinking of there is another Trek connection in this episode. I don't know if we want to say it now or say it later. Actually, you know what? When we get into the plot a little bit,
okay,
I'll bring it up.
Okay, sounds good. I have kind of a love-hate relationship with Enterprise cold opens.
I thought this was funny.
They're either too short or they're a little too corny. This one was like on the too corny side. I didn't hate it, but sometimes I'm like, I don't know about this.
It's cute. It's fun.
Yeah. Or sometimes the cold opens are like so short. You're like, why did you even have a cold open? Like, I mean, it was.
Sometimes it is short.
10 seconds.
But
yeah.
This one was cute. And I loved that they were all like giving her a hard time. And he's like, maybe next time open with that. Like,
well, what I think is really funny about the fact that they were like burying the lead of this in Class Planet is that they were talking about other like really interesting phenomena, like spatial phenomena, that the last episode was the reason why they stopped the ship was because of a big comet. And they're like, well, we got to check out this comet. They're like so excited. Like if you look out your starboard window, you'll be able to see a big old comet. We're going to go check that out. And they're like so excited. And then next week in this episode, they're like a supernova remnant, a cluster of 3 neutron stars. That's super unusual.
The only thing I could think of is like, was there a lot of time in between last episode and this one? Like,
I don't know.
Are they supposed to be over like, okay, like now we're in this like part of space where we've been seeing these like every day and it's like not that interesting anymore? Or was there like, I don't know. That was the only explanation I could come up with for that, because it was a little weird that they were like, oh my God, a comet. And then it was like, oh, these are the really cool spatial phenomenon. And then obviously the planet piqued everyone's interest because that's always cool no matter what. I feel like.
Yes.
Making first contact, I don't think that would ever get old. I think that would always
Shoff,
be cool.
I think he said the star date in this episode at one point. I remember him saying 21
July 3rd.
But he also said
2151.
He also said Captain's Star Log.
Yes.
And not Captain's Log. And I thought, is it always called Captain? Is it always a Star Log? And they just never say that. They just say Captain's Log because it's implied that it's a Star Log.
Interesting. Yeah, maybe it's like the shorthand of it has become, Captain's Log.
Yeah. I was going to say, I feel like it has evolved. Like they're showing, okay, this is where the remnants of it came from and it changes into this Captain's Log. I don't know for sure. But something I do know for sure, Shoff, is I just pulled up from my notes. I just found what I was looking for. So, writers Phyllis Strong and Mike Sussman were both staff writers during the final season of Voyager before joining Enterprise, and they co-wrote several Voyager episodes, including Workforce Parts 1 and 2 and Unimatrix Zero Part 2. So, their writing style is a mix of moral dilemma, first contact nuance, and ethical gray areas, which are all part of civilization.
All
That's
true.
true.
Also, I just posted a TikTok about Workforce today.
Ooh-wee.
Wow, look at that connection.
Nice connection. Yes.
Crazy. That episode makes me cry.
Who is in this movie with Kevin Bacon? Oh, we did it! Yeah, Kevin, 6 degrees. Amazing. This episode also had some cool nods to what will become the Prime Directive.
Yes.
Because we find out that this whole concept of not engaging with a species that is pre-warp and not having first contact with them until they've established warp drive is a Vulcan protocol. And up until this point, we've kind of just assumed it was sort of like a Starfleet thing, but we didn't really know where they got it from per se. And now it seems like it's very clear that, as T'Pol says, she's like, Starfleet would be wise to adopt this, and they do.
And that makes total sense that would be a Vulcan thing that humans adopted. Because I don't know, that feels like, but they were talking about it a little bit. They're like, are they pre-industrial? Like, what's happening? Like, where are they in their development? Trying to figure out if they should make contact, and then they did something that I feel like we don't see a whole lot, which is like them. Well, I guess that's not really true. I guess we do see it a lot. I think we see them like getting clothes to blend in a lot. I think we don't see them always like changing their physical appearance to blend in with alien species a lot. So that was really cool that we got to see that.
It was convenient that it was just like a little forehead ridge, you know?
Always a forehead ridge or ears. That's it.
I know.
That's all it takes to be an alien, guys. That's
And like these little ridges, honestly, very cute.
They are
and
cute.
Arguably sexy, especially on Hoshi, who I think is gorgeous. And then you add these little ridges on her head, and like, I'm here, I'm available. Dang. And I speak the language, so the language of
Shoff
love
is into
right
aliens, guys.
What I'm saying, girl, is if you got ridges, I'll come up with something better. Yeah, I'll work on it.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen there's a creator on TikTok called Positively Geeky, and I think he's just one of the funniest creators on TikTok, but he has one where it's like Star Trek always answers the question, what if aliens were autistic and sexy? And it's like 7 of them like that he has, and it's like he just has like all of these like lined up, and it's so funny. Like it always makes me laugh because every time I watch a Star Trek episode I think about that TikTok and how true it is. It's just, that's all I was thinking about while you're talking about that.
Yeah, I mean, good on Archer for his one contact on this planet to be an absolutely gorgeous apothecary woman who also has feelings for him. You know what? I've been struggling on Hinge and Tinder and Bumble and all the apps, and this guy visits a completely alien world, and upon arriving already has a date and is macking on some chick. So what's your secret, Johnny boy?
I mean,
what's your secret?
Develop warp drive and go find a pre-warp civilization.
Yeah, all he had to do was move his hair just a little bit forward, just give it a little Caesar cut, you know?
This is the reenactment of the hair.
The Caesar cut, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was funny because I was like, oh, this is why there were rules for like Kirk. They were like, no, Kirk, you can't sleep with the green alien no matter how hot she is. Yeah.
But I'm available, and she's available too. And she's green, and I'm pink, and
she's green.
We need to get together.
Your impressions. I just watched the Captain's documentary, and I think that's the longest I've ever seen Shatner talk, ever.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Is it what's it called? The Captain's Chair or something?
Yeah.
I think it's just The Captain.
Filmed in like 2011, I think. We were trying to do the math. I was like 6.
Yeah, I think I've seen it. I have seen it.
Yeah,
I remember
it's just called The Captains.
Avery Brooks was kind of not. I don't want to say this in a mean way, but like he seemed like a kind of like an oddball. Like
he's a goofy guy.
Yeah, he's like a real eccentric kind of dude.
It surprised me because I'm not that far into Deep Space Nine, so I've only seen Sisko as like this very serious like force, and so it was very strange to see him like laughing at a piano and like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's totally unlike his character.
And I was like, whoa, who is this? It was interesting for sure.
Yeah, he does not give off Sisko energy as himself by any means.
No, which just means he's a great actor because obviously, but it was very, Anyway,
most of my notes are all about like the Trek trope of a captain smooching female alien. So like that Trek trope, check, we got it. It happened. When the dude's fake like skin like was peeling off and it was showing like his like reptilian like scales and stuff, I was like, that is nightmare fuel right there. Like entire face peeling off. Like if I was the apothecary chick, like she handled it in stride. She was like, it's just his face peeling off.
That girl's been to one too many Halloween Horror Nights because that was the same reaction I
saw
had.
That,
I was like,
that I'd be done. I would be done. I would be in therapy. I'd be in like padded rooms for the rest of my life. Yeah, I would not be okay.
It's fine. She dated a Gorn. There's nothing wrong here. She took one to her prom. That's fine.
She took one to her
took
prom.
a Gorn to the prom. Yeah. Oh my god. You know what? That's what you're going to see. It's going to be me cosplaying this chick and my boyfriend cosplaying a Gorn. That's what we're going to go to MegaCon as.
Now we're talking. Now we're talking.
I'm going to do the face peel makeup on him. He's going to have like the like reptile under.
Yes. I'm here for it. Even if I'm going to be scared, I'm here for it. Let's see.
Shoff, I'm surprised we haven't mentioned this earlier because from day one in Enterprise, I have thought Jolene Blalock to Paul has a strong resemblance to Angelina Jolie. And in this episode, when she gets the wig and she comes down, I was like, that's Angelina Jolie right there. I just had this, like, I had a crush on Angelina Jolie when I was younger. So when I saw that, I was like, ah. Anyways, everyone, just the ridges, she got the the long flowing wig to hide her ears, and that was it. All right, she looks like one of the aliens. All right,
Ruffles have ridges.
Yeah, ruffles have ridges.
Yeah, no,
she definitely looked good with the long hair. I know it's kind of.
And
I
like Trip. He was like looking out for you. He's like pointy thing, got a pointy thing showing through over there. Get that pointy thing out of there to Paul. I was really like looking forward to hopefully like a Trip clip to talk about in this episode. And I think the only one that comes close is in that cold open when they're talking about the various spatial phenomenon. He's like, they talk about the neutron stars. He's like, how about that, Cap? 3 stone cold stars. And what's funny is I was on IMDb, and I always go here and I always go to Wiki, and I try and find like various bits of trivia and goofs and stuff like that. And they talked about that line that Tucker says. He says he called the stars stone cold. It's like, in reality, neutron stars are thought to be very hot, typically 600,000 degrees Kelvin on the surface. So not exactly stone cold, would you say?
Yeah. Another great Trip moment was at the end when T'Pol was like, he's like, I'm not doing that. And T'Pol was like, I outrank you, and I never said that we were jumping to warp. I said prepare to jump to warp. I said get ready to leave. I didn't say leave. She was like, I'm not leaving him. I've got a plan. Trust. Which again, I'm happy we've gotten a few really good T'Pol moments, and she's definitely developing as a character, which I'm very excited about. This was definitely one of those.
Yeah. And it was very clever, very like smart, tactical, strategic. Yes. Like she was like, if they want it, we're gonna give it. I almost did like a Trip thing. If they want it, we're gonna give it to them.
Yeah,
and she gave it to him. All right.
It was interesting that he basically was starting a mutiny with his actions, and there's no consequences for him doing that at all.
Well, because he was starting a mutiny, but because of a misunderstanding, like he wasn't
like for the right reasons. Yeah.
Well, because he was going to start a mutiny because he didn't think she was going to do the right thing, but then she was like, "Well, I am doing the right thing, so calm down." Like, so I think
the writing in these early, like, we're still in that phase of like T'Pol's being written as she's, the cold Vulcan, and we don't relate to her as much. We're starting to peel back some of those layers in the previous episodes that we talked about, but this might still be in that cold era for T'Pol.
Yeah, she's definitely in that, but she's still developing a little bit, which
I might be the warmest on T'Pol. I've liked her from the first moment that I saw her in that jelly room, Shoff. That was
gonna say, it happened in the decon chamber.
That doesn't
is that when you fell in love?
You can't like her from the decon chamber. That's not fair.
Her psychology.
It puts the lotion on its skin.
Has everyone ever made a TikTok of this scene to that audio?
I did, actually.
Did you really?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I was I pretended it was Phlox as Buffalo Bill, that he was.
Yeah.
I just hit the mic. So sorry.
Or else it gets the hose again.
So awful. Yeah, I liked her in the first moment we met her, and I was like, "Oh, what a badass!" And then I was like, "She sucks." But now
what a badass, or look at that ass. What was hard to say? It was one and the same, I think.
Listen, okay. Here's the thing about that, though, and Jerry Ryan said something at Star Trek Orlando that I've been thinking about, and she said it didn't bother her that 7 of 9 was dressed in a skin-tight catsuit, because she said the character wasn't like that, so she didn't really care what they were doing for like sex appeal or for the purposes of like trying to draw in viewers or to make her like a sex symbol, because the character wasn't written that way. And I think I feel the same way about T'Pol. I don't know how the actress, I haven't really done a deep dive into how the actress felt, but the character's not like that at all. So I think, I never really thought about it like that before. But hearing her talk about that, I was like, oh, that does make sense, I guess.
Interesting.
Like
yeah, okay.
That perspective of like, she's like, it didn't bother, like, it just, I thought that was interesting. Well, I mean, she also said that the Chakotay 7 romance, there was only one thing that, I can't remember what it was, but there was like it wasn't enough time, or like wasn't enough time to develop, or like they told them it wasn't going to happen and then they did it, but she wasn't like against the idea of them being together, so what does she know? But I'm just kidding. But I mean, Chakotay and 7. Man.
This episode, I wanted to bring up kind of like an interesting fact. I wouldn't call it a fun fact because it's definitely not a fun bit of information. But this particular episode its production occurred during the events of the September 11th attacks.
Oh, wow.
So much so that while they were filming this, they had a day. Production itself was halted for an entire day in response to the attacks. And on IMDb, there's actually a section in the trivia, and it was talking about how one of the writers of this episode, Mike Sussman, he stated that he couldn't even watch this episode because he could see in the footage the enthusiasm and light go from all the actors' eyes because of the events of 9/11. So it's almost like there's footage of them, performing the scenes or whatever prior to, and then the stuff after. There's apparently a noticeable change. And just because I find that to be like a really interesting bit of trivia, it makes me want to know like what scenes were filmed after the fact.
I want to know that too.
But like we've seen other instances from other movies and stuff. Like for instance, The Master of Disguise. Do you guys know that movie with
Dana Carvey?
Thank you, Dana Carvey. They were filming it as the September 11th attacks were occurring, specifically the Turtle Club scene where Dana Carvey's in like this like turtle. Am I not turtle enough for the Turtle Club? Like that.
That's like the most famous clip from that movie,
right?
Too.
Yeah, exactly. And he was in that outfit, like watching the Twin Towers get hit, and they continued filming that day. Dang. Even with like the news of that going down. So like that movie, the movie bombed horribly, but probably one of the things it's most well known for is that bit of 9/11 trivia. So finding this up about the Star Trek episode, I thought that was pretty fascinating.
Yeah. The concept of this pre 9/11 and post 9/11 world is so strange to me because I was born 3 years after. So I don't have this barometer of like, oh, well, pre 9/11, used to be able to do this at the airport and used to be able to walk all the way to gate. Like that, I've just never lived in a world where that existed. So this is it's like, it's a weird thing to say, but it's obviously it was a huge tragedy. It doesn't feel, sometimes I forget how recent it was because again, like it wasn't in my lifetime. So I like this, I never lived in a world like without it. So it's weird to like run into facts like that, right? Where like
that just happened.
That people were like here when it happened, that it like really was a real thing that occurred and people really do remember and like lived through it. I know that's like a really strange thing to say, but it doesn't feel any different than like other historical events because I was not with this either. So it's always like kind of a reality check to hear stuff like that. And it's like, oh, but it was real. It happened.
Vactor, where do you recall where you were when it was all going down?
Yes, I was living in Hawaii at the time, and Hawaii is like, I think it's like 6 hours time difference between New York. Oh, yeah. So my mom, I was living in my parents' house at the time. My mom comes storming in my room. I'm asleep.
Our mom.
Bombing us. They're bombing us. And I'm thinking like in Hawaii, like I'm like, what? We're getting bombed. And I was like, I was asleep. So I'm like, is this a dream? Like, what is going on here? And then I turn on the TV and then it's like, oh yeah, New York's getting attacked. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go back to sleep. But it was a huge tragedy. But that was in New York. I'm like, I'm in Hawaii at this time. So yes, I do remember that. Where were you, Shoff?
Interesting. I was in New York. No, I was in my computer class at a community college. It was like basic computers. They were like teaching you how to plug in a computer.
Whoa.
Like, why am I taking this class?
Have you turned it?
It was
on,
a requirement.
Sir?
I would never have taken it otherwise. It was like one of those prereqs you just had to get out of the way. And they're like, this is Microsoft Word. if you have troubles, you can use Clippy. Double click on
you
Clippy.
You got taught by Dana Carvey in the turtle suit?
Yeah. If you need help.
What in the hell are you guys talking about?
Is this Excel spreadsheet not turtle enough?
Insert a clip for Linda right here. We gotta insert one. You know what? I'm gonna pull up an image real quick.
Oh god.
Yes, do it. Oh my goodness.
Of Clippy or the turtle suit?
Hold on.
I was in computer class
in Nutella. Hold on.
No, that's not fun. My
Spiders
mom was watching our last episode today. She was texting me the whole time, and she was like, "Spiders in Nutella." I was like, "I know, it's evil. It's evil. It's so evil."
While Vactor looks this up, I'll share this. The reception of this episode, not super positive.
Yeah.
It is considered sort of middle of the road as far as the episodes go. Ranked it, a lot of them ranking it like 5 out of 10 or 2 out of 5, comparing it, the poisoning story to a medieval alien Aaron Brockovich story. And one person said it was a relentlessly average first contact story.
Relentlessly average. Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd rather just say like, wow, you suck. They're called relentlessly average. That's,
relentlessly average. Yeah. There's a book called Beyond the Final Frontier, and in the book referring to this episode, they said it feels like a Riker episode of The Next Generation, and the story doesn't amount to much, but there's something cathartic about seeing a Starfleet officer who isn't restrained by the Prime Directive starting a gunfight in an alien street.
Yeah, it was very Indiana Jones of him. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. You got to pull that back?
Do not pull up a picture of a spider. I'm closing my eyes until I have confirmation that it's not a spider.
This is what Shoff is doing an impression.
He's going turtle.
Turtle.
Okay, so that's what that.
Okay,
that's
that
what
was a pretty
Shoff
good
is
impression.
referencing.
So imagine performing that scene in that costume. Meanwhile, towers are being hit by airplanes.
That is crazy.
So in high school, I was in my advisory period. I was a junior in high school, and so we were all 16 or 17, and it was the 20th anniversary of 9/11. And so they play like a video in our advisor class, blah blah blah, and our advisor goes, "It's so crazy. It was 20 years ago. Do you guys remember where you were when you found out?" And I was like, "It's the 20th anniversary," and she was like, "Yeah, I know. It's crazy, right? Can you believe it?" I was like,
18.
We're juniors in high school. And she was like, I know. Isn't it crazy how time flies? And I was like, we're not 20 years old. She's like, yeah, I know. And I was like, it's the 20th. I was trying to lead her. I don't want to say we weren't. And finally she was like, I was like, we weren't alive. And she was like, wow. I was like, what's happening? And I guess it's just the fact that, again, it's as hard as it is for me to imagine that happening, it's even harder probably to fathom that someone wasn't alive when that happened, because it was such a traumatic moment for the country. So I kind of understand, but it was pretty funny though. She just could not fathom that. She just was not coming to the conclusion that I wanted her to come to. Yeah.
That reminds me, Linda, I was watching TikTok and this lady came up, and so Absolute Batman is a new Batman series that is brand new. It's completely fresh. It just started this last year. And this girl's like, so you're telling me Absolute Batman was born in 2004? You're telling me I'm a year older than Batman? What? And it just made me laugh.
Oh my goodness.
I would be the same age as that Batman.
Nice.
I was born in 2000.
Rachel, pray to me.
Gotta turn the volume down on my headphones. Hang on.
Sorry about that.
Jump scare.
Sorry about that. I'm sorry. Looking ahead to next week's episode, or rather for us whenever we watch it, but when we'll be talking about it next week. Fortunate Son is the episode. It'll be the 10th episode of the season and the second episode directed by LeVar Burton. So we get some more Geordie LaForge direction in this.
I still shudder at LeVar Burton's name. I love him. I think he's very talented. I just gives me anxiety.
Yeah.
Takes me right back to that moment. I'm gonna call it Favorite Son on accident at least 12 times.
Favorite Son. Okay. Yeah. Hopefully the episode is that good and deserves to be called Favorite Son. Yeah.
A Favorite Son is not popular though. Do you know how many times I've been tagged in this on TikTok? How many times people have sent that to me or used that reaction photo when I talk about LeVar Burton? A lot. When I was watching the episode with my parents, they were like, it's you. My dad's Googling it, trying to figure out when they made the episode and seeing if it was made after. And I was like, I don't want to know if it was made after.
She inspired it. It was based on a real person.
I don't.
Oh my gosh.
It was so accurate that I would not be surprised. I'm not that arrogant to say that it was, but I wouldn't be surprised at all, because it's just pretty much exactly what happens. I need a redo. He should come to MegaCon so I can redeem myself. Stop losing sleep over this. It wakes me up at night.
He'll be like, it's you. He'll remember.
I don't have braces and pigtails anymore, so oh god.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's Yeah. I did the same thing when I met William Shatner, though, which I don't want to talk about. But that was like my dad was with me, so my dad talked, and I was just like, so I didn't have to talk, so that was fine. But
oh my goodness. Well, let's. I know Vactor's got another podcast he's going to be doing here tonight. Is it with This Comic Cooks?
Yes, we are talking about all the books for the month of September in the world of Superman. So every comic that came out talking about Superman, we're going to discuss and have a good old time over at This Comic Cook.
Fantastic. Yeah. So any Trekkies who like Star Wars, who like Superman, definitely check out This Comic Cooks. Vactor is incredible on that podcast too. As incredible as he is here, the domain that he emanates and controls over at This Comic Cooks, it will send you into a tizzy. He's got his own sense of riz. Let me say this. If he arrived on an alien world, there's no way any alien woman would be able to resist.
Thank you.
I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Vactor, anything else you'd like to plug related to This Comic Cooks or anything else?
Yeah, I'm also doing a short series on YouTube and TikTok where I'm talking about Infinity Warps, which was a series where Marvel had two heroes and they put their chocolate in their peanut butter and they put them together so they would combine like Wolverine and Emma Frost. And what would you get? And here's Iron Man and Thor. Like, what would you get? So I'm doing a series all about those heroes. So if you're interested, check out This Comic Cooks on YouTube and TikTok.
That sounds amazing. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Captain Linda, what you got for us? What things would you like to plug today?
Well, on TikTok and Instagram at Linda Pages, I have all of the Voyager content and other Trek content, so I'm really excited about that. And also, there's music coming out soon.
Yes.
So stay tuned for that as well.
Oh, I'm so excited. So excited.
Oh, also lots of Horror Nights content for the next month-ish until
Nice.
No.
Horror Nights is over. No.
Yes.
I'm actually going
Will you be
tomorrow,
giving
so.
us? Will you be giving us any Disney Halloween content?
I
Any
normally don't.
Haunted
I have not been to Disney since I've been back at school, which is crazy. I've just been spending so much time at Universal because of Horror Nights. But yeah, I'm in need of a Disney day. I'm overdue. I will. I don't know how much. I normally don't do like the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, but yeah, I'll definitely do Disney content soon.
That's more my speed right there.
It's my
Just
mom.
in the title alone, I know what I'm getting myself into. It's not so scary. That means it's safe for Shoff.
I accidentally traumatized my mom. My godmother and my mom came down, so my godmother and I could do Horror Nights. My mom would never, ever, ever, ever. And I was warning my godmother about the Terrifier house because she's never seen the Terrifier movies, and there are two particularly brutal kills that were in the house. And I was like, you need to know this before you walk in because I don't want you to leave traumatized. And so I'm explaining them, and like my mom was in the shower, but I didn't we're in the hotel room. I didn't realize that like the water was on, so I figured she was in the shower, but like she wasn't yet. And so she heard me explaining. She's like, stop talking. And I was like, I'm so sorry. So I accidentally, she's like, I'm not gonna sleep tonight. And I was like, I'm so sorry. So yeah, I traumatized the Admiral. That was my bad.
Oh man.
Yeah, and my boyfriend's gonna come with me, and he's not a horror person, so so I had to give him the same debrief, and I was done, and he was like, wow, that was just so much worse than I expected. And I said, please don't break up with me because you think I'm crazy.
I think it's good that you gave him a debrief, because if I went to Halloween Horror Nights, I would need to change my briefs multiple times because they would be soaked.
It's okay. We're gonna start off with like Five Nights at Freddy's because that house isn't too bad, and then we'll slowly work our way up to Terrifier.
There you go. Yeah, that works.
What
See,
if
it won't
they
be
have
that bad.
spiders in that house?
Okay, so there was one house one year, and it was all bugs, and I was on a tour with my godmother, and I pulled our tour guide aside, and I said, are there spiders in this house? And he was like, no. And I was like, because they'll do this thing where they're trying to scare you, obviously. So like if you tell your tour, oh, I don't like chainsaws, and they'll tell the chainsaws to come chasing after you. Made that mistake once, and I was like, you don't understand. I was like, I need you to be honest with me, because if there's a spider somewhere in the house, I'm gonna chase you out of it too. Like, you're gonna wish that you had told me that there was a spider. Like, be honest. I will not go in this if there's a spider. He's like, there are no spiders. There weren't any spiders. It was still god awful. I would never do it again, which means it was an excellent haunted house. It scared me so bad. It scared my godmother, who never gets scared by Horror Nights. It was just, they had like these things dangling from the ceiling, and it was a pitch black room, and they were blasting like the bug sound. So you just felt like they were all over you. There was like no endings. Oh God, I'm like thinking about it. It was that roaches. I was not okay with that.
Wouldn't it be funny if he was like, "Oh, nice."
I
I would
made
sing it if
this
I didn't have roommates.
recently. I put it together and it needed super glue because the nacelles fell. They fell off and broke. Thank you so much.
Wonderful.
Yeah, that's
Standing
all I'm
ovation.
promoting is I continue to build Starship Legos, and please visit Treknopod on TikTok and YouTube and find us on Spotify.
Yes.
However you like to listen to us, we appreciate you. Our Captain Vactor has to get to his next pod, so we're going to go ahead and wrap up. But
yes.
please tune in next week as we talk about Fortunate Son. I ain't no fortunate son. Yeah, thank you. Live long and prosper.